The interstellar concord had maintained peace for 1,000 years, a fragile truce enforced by its sole decree. No weapons of war would be permitted in the galaxy. Worlds disarmed, armies disbanded, and civilizations thrived under the illusion of harmony. When humanity joined, they complied reluctantly. On the day Earth's final arsenal was surrendered, Ambassador Marcus Vane placed the last nuclear warhead in the conqueror's hands with a subtle, knowing smile. Chapter 1. The Predator Arrives. On the edge of Earth's solar system, the Vorkath Dominator emerged from hyperspace. It was a juggernaut, bristling with Bant weaponry. At its helm stood warlord Draxor Velt, a tyrant who had built his empire on ash and blood. Draxor stared at the holographic projection of Earth with disdain. They cling to their concord's rules like children to blankets. They'll surrender, or they'll burn. When his fleet arrived in orbit, a single transmission came through. "Greetings," said a calm, even voice. "This is Marcus Vane. May I ask why you're here?" Draxor laughed. "I am here to take your world. Surrender now, or I'll reduce it to rubble." After a pause, Vane's reply came, sharp as broken glass. "You're welcome to try, but you'll find Earth is not so easily broken." Chapter 2. Awaken the Past. As Draxor's forces prepared to descend, humanity moved underground, literally and figuratively. In a hidden bunker deep beneath Denver, Vane met with Earth's secret council, 5 men who had prepared for this day. Colonel Rylan Kane, the strategist, stood by a display of ancient weapon schematics. "They think we're lambs. Let's show them the wolves." Dr. Elias Trent, a wiry man with piercing eyes, tapped a holographic interface. "The vaults are intact. Every weapon we ever designed is ready." Vane nodded. "Then we proceed." The Conqueror's peace was built on the assumption no one would challenge us. Today, the galaxy remembers why. Chapter 3. A Lesson in Fear. When Draxor's troops landed in New York City, they expected chaos. Instead, the streets were silent. A chill wind swept through the concrete canyons. And then the ground shook. From the shadows of skyscrapers, massive war machines emerged, humanity's long-hidden weapons. Towering mechs with cannon-line arms and glowing red visors strode into view, their hydraulics hissing with lethal intent. Draxor's ground forces barely had time to react before the first mech fired. A plasma blast annihilated a platoon, scattering survivors in every direction. On the front lines, Colonel Kane led squads of soldiers clad in advanced combat armor. Moving with precision, they cut through the invaders with railguns and shock blades. From orbit, Draxor watched the chaos unfold. "What is this treachery?" he growled, his claws tightening around his command console. One of his lieutenants hesitated. "Warlord, the humans, they never truly disarmed." "No?" Vane's voice came through on an open channel. "We prepared." Chapter 4. The Pushback. Draxor's fleet retaliated with orbital strikes, but humanity's defenses were more formidable than he imagined. Ancient orbital platforms hidden among the asteroid belt powered up, firing precision railgun rounds that ripped through his ships. On Earth, the war raged in the streets. Kane led his forces in skirmishes across Los Angeles, his booming voice rallying his men. "We fight for our home, for every city they've touched. Give them nothing but fire and fury." Meanwhile, in a hidden lab beneath the Rockies, Dr. Trent unleashed humanity's most devastating innovation: nanite swarms. The shimmering clouds consumed enemy machines, reducing Draxor's advanced technology to dust. As the invaders faltered, Earth struck harder. The longer the battle went on, the clearer it became that humanity had been underestimated. Chapter 5. The End of Draxor. With his forces decimated and his fleet in ruins, Draxor made one last desperate move. He descended to Earth himself, leading his elite guard to the heart of humanity's command center. The bunker doors exploded inward, and Draxor stormed in, his massive form radiating menace. His energy blade hummed as he stepped toward Vayne, who stood waiting with calm composure. "You dare defy me?" Draxor growled. "I am Draxor Velt, conqueror of worlds." Vayne's lips curled into a faint smile. "And I'm Marcus Vayne, a man who doesn't kneel." Draxor lunged, but Vayne was ready. With a swift motion, he raised his arm, revealing a gauntlet glowing with blue energy. The warlord's blade struck it, only to be deflected. From the shadows, Colonel Kane fired his railgun, striking Draxor's armor. As the warlord stumbled, Dr. Trent activated a device, releasing nanites that began consuming Draxor's protective plating. In a final act of defiance, Vayne stepped forward and delivered a pulse from his gauntlet that sent Draxor crashing to the ground. The warlord roared one last time before falling silent, his empire shattered. Epilogue. A roar echoes. When the Concord learned of Earth's defiance, they summoned Vayne to answer for humanity's actions. Standing before the council, Vayne faced their accusations with calm confidence. "You told us to disarm," he said, his voice resonating in the chamber. "We complied, on the surface, but you left us vulnerable in a galaxy full of wolves. We chose to survive." A reptilian counselor hissed. "You have upset the balance. This will not go unchallenged." Vayne's gaze was unflinching. "The balance was a lie. If anyone wishes to challenge us, they know where to find us." Humanity's victory was not just a triumph of strategy or strength. It was a reminder. The galaxy now understood the cost of underestimating a species forged in fire. Peace, they realized, was not the absence of war. It was the presence of strength waiting quietly until it was needed most.